Welcome back to another parent life video here. So we have had our child, it sounds like you get something you got at the grocery store. We've had our child for just over 3 months now. And you know, if you've been following some of the videos on this channel, we kind of started filming stuff right after she was born. And I thought it would be cool to kind of revisit. Now we're 3 months down the road, so we're kind of like coming out of the trenches a little bit. But there have been like a lot of kind of interesting developmental changes that have occurred in the past over the past 3 months that I think are pretty interesting. And if you're someone watching this and you just had a kid or you're pregnant and going to have one, I think you'll get some value out of learning about the various developmental things that occur in the first 3 months. Because there have been some stark changes. And what I'll do is kind of overlay this video with a bunch of B-roll of our baby doing the various things we're talking about. But I just think it's pretty interesting and will serve as like a cool reminder for us to see like how she has developed over the past 3 months. So the first thing I've noticed a lot of is she talks and babbles a lot more. and more interesting than that is she's replaced sessions of crying with sessions of babbling. Would you agree with that?
I would. And it's also progressed within the babbling. Like it started as cooing, where she would just go,
That's a good impression.
a lot. And then it started, you know, like almost like she found her voice and it would be louder and it's more varied now. And it can be some angry babbling when she's tired.
She talks a lot. Like there are like 20 or 30 minute stretches where it's constant. But that has been something that has been surprised me. I didn't realize this early on. They don't shut up sometimes. But it is better to hear her talk than it is to hear her scream. So it's kind of interesting because it just shows you that during those bouts of screaming in the first couple months when she can't talk, she's just trying to communicate, but she has no way to communicate other than screaming. And now that she's developed a little bit more, she's just substituted the screaming with just random baby nonsense like gobbledygook, which is actually pretty funny. So that's been like one of the bigger developmental changes. You know, they say crying peaks, I don't know, sometime in the first 2 months. And then now what we're seeing is that crying has been replaced with just baby nonsense talk chatter, which is kind of funny.
And she started giggling too.
Yeah, she has started giggling, making this like stupid giggle that is pretty funny as well. So there's more like her ability to communicate has gotten more advanced, I would say is the capstone thought there.
Smiling and giggling.
She does smile a lot too, yeah.
That was new.
Yeah. Another thing she is gotten much better at is supporting her head and just movement in general. She's still at 3 months confined to the boppy or the DockATot. She still is not mobile, obviously, but she's trying to be, and she can support her head more.
Oh, you like the turtle? Yeah. Are you not happy?
Interesting screaming noises when she's on her stomach.
She can't roll around yet, but she almost can. But she's definitely, obviously, like that's, you know, an obvious developmental change is she's more mobile and she can support her head better, that's the scariest thing when their head just like flops around. So she's getting better at that too.
We just started putting her in a chair where she can actually sit up and support her own head. So that was a big milestone.
You're supposed to play with these things. Yeah? No? Stop looking at me. Go back to sitting in your chair. She looks like she's in like a little baby lazy boy.
And for the rolling over, like it seems like she's so close. Like she wants to, she can kind of like force herself to the side, but she hasn't fully rolled over yet, but I imagine that will be pretty soon.
Yeah. Another thing that you notice before 3 months, but it's definitely more now, is like her gaze and her eyes track things now. So if like you're moving around the room, like her head will follow you, like noticeably. Ooh. Hey. Hey. I'm over here now. She's very interested in the bunny. And I think that's gotten more advanced over the last couple months. And then with that, she definitely notices the TV now. Like, she will know when the TV is on, she'll stare at the TV. Like, if she's in the middle of trying to like babble and the TV goes on, like she'll shut up and stare at the TV. Not a good thing. You know, we try and limit the amount of TV that's on around her. Like, I know it's a losing battle and inevitably she will watch TV, but our stance is like, just get by as much as we can with as minimal TV as we can. But you know, it's kind of sad, but you do notice, like, if she starts to get upset and you turn the TV on, it doesn't even, at this point it doesn't even matter what's on the TV, but she will shut up and stare at the TV. It's actually insane. So that's not necessarily good, but it is a developmental change. She's just more aware of what's going on in the room around her. She'll kind of look at, if you talk, she'll look at you, and if you talk and move around, her eyes will track you, and she will notice the TV now. So it's a losing battle.
And I think a lot of it's a byproduct that her vision is improving. You know,
Probably.
she can see further.
Assume, yeah.
The older she's been getting, she can see further away, so she can track you, you know, rather than just being right in front of her with your hand moving. She can actually see you kind of across the room. Yeah, so it's you know, that's something that started before 3 months, but now at this point, like, she'll stare at the TV if it's on. So that sucks. Not great.
So the final thing I kind of want to touch base on in this kind of 3-month video is she is definitely more, like, she can grab and manipulate things now and like hold on to things. You holding things? Oh, grab for it. Oh, there we go. Dexterity. She's holding 2 things. So that's kind of interesting, you know. In the first month or 2, she like would grab your finger stuff and she would hold on to it. But now, if you place an object in front of her, she will like physically grab it and hold on to it and like move it around. I thought that's kind of interesting. So like, I don't know if it's like the dexterity is improving or like her motor skills are improving, but she definitely can like grab and interact with objects in front of her and like hold on to them.
And she just has shown more of an interest in objects and toys. Like, before, I would hold toys in front of her and, you know, it would do nothing. And now, you know, if a rattle toy or a soft, fuzzy, stuffed animal, she like seems actually interested in holding it and mostly just putting it in her mouth or examining it.
Yeah, she that's another developmental change. The last one I was going to talk about, I don't know if she's teething, I don't know how it works. She's drooling more and she's trying to shove stuff in her mouth.
What is this?
Some kind of teething glove toy.
So the whole point is...
Well, she keeps sticking her hands in her mouth and chewing on them.
All right, let me see this thing.
So it's got little rubber ends.
It looks like a dog toy.
Probably could be. Good cat toy.
Has she been putting it in her mouth?
She's done. See, look. Oh. She doesn't.
Oh.
Not quite sure what it is.
Not quite sure.
And along with that, she is sucking on her fingers as like a way to pacify her. She's gone to the thumb once, but I wouldn't say she's thumb sucking right now.
It's like all the fingers.
It's literally her whole hand goes in her mouth. So just like more aware of her hands, more able to use her hands to grab stuff and then shove her hands in her mouth. Just kind of an interesting little, like, the developmental biology aspects of this are very interesting. And so you can see like how she's progressing, and it'll be interesting to see how this goes out over the next couple months. Cause I mean, what we've just listed out is actually a lot of development in, you know, 90 days.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see. So that's gonna wrap up this video. I think we'll do these every, like, you know, 3 to 6 months. I think it's really interesting, actually, and I think there's value in doing it. So maybe like 6 months we'll have an update, because a lot of stuff's happened in the first 3 months, and I think we'll check back in at 6 months. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want, like if you want. Otherwise, we'll see everybody on the next one.